Hi, my name is Karla Young, and I am an art teacher at General Sherman Junior High. Having been born and raised in Lancaster, it was a real honor for me to be asked to participate in this year's Lancaster Festival. I know the festival looks a little differently this summer, but I'm happy to be a part of it, even a very small part of it, by creating some virtual art lessons for you to follow along with at home. If you stick with me for all 5 lessons, you are going to be taking a virtual trip around the world. We have 5 different art projects for you, and each one is from a different country. The 4th project that we will be doing together is a Peruvian llama. This llama comes from Peru in South America. And in Peru, they are also known for their gorgeous textiles. So we have kind of a fabric textile design with a llama drawing on top. So I hope that you enjoy this time with me. And we just need to get our passports ready for our virtual field trip. Pack your bags. And I almost forgot, I never fly without my travel pillow. Today's project comes from South America, more specifically a place called Peru. Peru is primarily known for Machu Picchu, its beautiful textiles, and llamas. So the supplies that you're going to need for today's project are some crayons. You're going to need 2 sheets of white paper. If you have a cardstock, which is a little bit thicker than printer paper, that would work great. If you have construction paper that's white, that would work. Notebook paper would work too, but it would be a little bit more flimsy when we get to the watercolor portion. You are also going to need watercolors, a small cup of water, some brushes. You're going to need a pencil, scissors, either a glue stick or glue bottle. And then a couple optional supplies would be some yarn and a hole punch. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is take one of those sheets of white paper and a handful of crayons, whatever colors you want, and we're going to make lines going across the page from left to right. As you can see from this image here, this is an example of Peruvian textiles. You can see they're very boldly colored and lots of fun stripes and designs. So you can just have some fun with this. Take your crayon. You can do each stripe a different color. You can make a wavy line, a straight line. You can make a zigzag line. See how many different lines you can make. We can make a loopy line. We can make a line that kind of looks like waves. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just have fun with your lines. We can make dashes. If you want to, you could even make a dotted line using circles. Okay, once your lines are finished going from left to right in various colors, we're ready to watercolor. So our next step is watercolor. You're going to need just a little bit of water in a cup and just a cheap, inexpensive palette of colors is nice, and a watercolor brush. Now, this is a little different than painting with the paint that we used in the cherry blossom project, where we actually, dipped in with our finger and made dots, or the Aborigine project, where, we squirted the paint out of bottles and we actually painted with paint. When you're using watercolors, you are actually painting with colored water. So you don't want to scoop these colors out and paint with those. You want to rest some water or drip some water on the top of the colors that you want to use. Kind of think of them as like little swimming pools. And then that paint is going to color the water, and that's what you'll be using. So I'm going to start with orange, and you want to keep it nice and fluid. If you keep going over the same spot multiple times, you're going to start to ruin the texture of the paper. So you want a real light touch and just brush that liquid right across the section. Okay, now I'm going to switch to another color. We're going to use a little bit of red, and again, I'm not scooping the paint out. I'm using the colored water that is resting on top of the paint. Any colors you want to use are just fine. I'm going to switch to yellow, add lots of water, make that little swimming pool. The other neat thing about using watercolors on top of crayon is your crayon has wax in it, and that's going to repel the water. So it's a technique called crayon resist. You can see that we're not covering up that crayon. It is showing through the paint. And you can see where I'm coloring over the green. The green does not disappear. Okay. And you will continue with this until the page is full. You're going to set it aside to dry, and when you're done, you might have something that looks like this. Okay, next comes my favorite part, and that is drawing the llama. I have pulled off this super cute image of a llama from the internet, and I'm going to use this as a guide in drawing my llama's head. Now you might be thinking, I can't do this, this is going to be too hard, but I'm here to help you. I'm going to break it down into simple shapes, and we're going to draw this together step by step. So you want the second piece of white paper, and you are going to start, you want the paper to be tall this way, vertical, and I'm going to start with an oval right in the center of the page. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, just do the best you can. Make sure you don't get it too close to the top because we want to leave room for his ears. Don't get it too close to the bottom because we want to leave room for his neck. So an oval, just like that, is how we start. The next thing that we're going to do is from about the middle of the oval, we're going to take a line and pull it down toward the bottom of the page. We're going to do that on both sides, and that gives the llama his long neck. I know it looks a little funny right now, but hang in there. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to add some ears. If you can draw a triangle, you can draw the ears of a llama. So I'm going to bring this straight up. I'm going to curve that side of my triangle just a little bit. They look very alert with their ears sticking straight up. Kind of looks like two halves of a circle. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add his eyes. So I'm going to go not quite halfway down, and I'm going to put a little football shape. So I'm going to make a curve, kind of like a rainbow, and then I'm going to do another curve under that rainbow. I'm going to go on this side, and I'm going to make a curve, and then I'm going to go under. Just get them as close as you can. They don't have to be exactly the same. If you want to put a little tiny rectangle, kind of a little highlight where the sun might be reflecting off of those eyes, that's always fun to add. To make the ears a little more fancy, you can add a smaller triangle inside. Okay, and he's looking pretty good. He just needs a few more things. So we're going to come to maybe just a little below the halfway spot of this oval, and I'm going to draw a letter U. A letter U. At the corner or the top of each point of the letter, I'm going to make little ovals. Those are going to be his nostrils. And then from the corner of that nostril, I'm going to make a little line on both sides, kind of like little parentheses. Okay? Next, I want to draw a line straight down from that nose. And think of a giant letter U. It's going to swing up around and almost touch his nose. And then we'll do the other side. It's going to swing up and around and almost touch his nose. And then he needs a little mouth. You might even want to draw a little dark spot here where his mouth is. Okay, our llama's looking pretty good. Just a couple more things I want to add. I'm going to put just a couple lines here to indicate where his nose is. I'm going to add a little bit of fluff here on his forehead, just like the picture, remember? See the fluff on his forehead? And I might add some zigzag lines coming down to show that he's a little bit furry. All right. Oh, I almost forgot. They have beautiful eyelashes, so I'm going to add some eyelashes. And here's our llama. Now you're ready to color. So those crayons that we used for the textile background, we're going to pick out some neutrals and we're going to start coloring our llama. Llamas come in different colors. Again, if you want to Google images to get some ideas, you are more than welcome to do that. You can use browns, grays, tans, and we're going to color our llama. You can see this example here. This is a cute little guy. He even has a heart shape for a nose, so you might decide you would like to do that. This one here, they've added little lines to show the texture of the llama's fur. After you get done drawing your llama, you're going to take your scissors and cut him out. And then you're going to glue him using a glue bottle or glue stick to the dry textile background that we made in step 1. You'll end up with something that looks like this. And then for a little extra pizzazz, if you want to kind of give it a little extra oomph, you can take a hole punch and put some hole punches across the top. You can do the same across the bottom. And then you can use little pieces of yarn and make tassels. So what I like to do is I like to put the two ends of the yarn together. I push those two little feet through the hole from the back side, and then I jump those two little feet right through the loop and pull. And you have a tassel. And if you do that across the top and the bottom, you'll end up with something that looks like this. We would love to see the artwork that you've been creating with us, so please be sure to snap a picture of your work and post it to social media using the hashtag Lancaster Festival. Thanks, and we hope to see you next time.